Well, greetings, people of the internet. Unky Joe here, Unky Joe's Playhouse. Today, we're going to solve a problem for a client of mine. So, I don't know if the rest of y'all have been paying attention, but prices of everything have gone through the roof, and that includes computers. And I've got an engineering client of mine that is in need, or has been in need, of some new machines for a bit of time now. So we went to Dell and we went to Lenovo, and man, oh man, the prices on the Dells they kind of really overbuilt a system for this client. And then there was availability issues and the price of, and then the Lenovo's were fairly priced, but there was no availability. You know, there's still shortages of parts and chips and whatnot. And I finally told the client, I said, look, I can probably build you a machine for about half the price of what it would cost to buy a machine assembled. From Dell or Lenovo. Probably not Lenovo. Lenovo would have been would have been a bit cheaper, but again, no availability. So I said, let me spec you out a unit. I said, if you're not opposed to using a couple of generations of older, like an older CPU, like a 10th gen Intel CPU as opposed to a 12th gen, I could probably save you some money there, and the RAM will be a little bit cheaper, and the parts will probably be a little bit more available because it's been out longer, right? So that's what this video is all about. So let's go ahead and talk about the parts we decided to go with on this. Like I said, I opted to go with we could have gone with it. The systems they were quoted from Lenovo and Dell were like i7 12700K processors with super high-end Quadro workstation video card, all high-end parts. When they heard these guys were engineers, they kind of started to salivate and said, oh, we can just, engineers want the best they can buy. But Unky Joe is the king of cheap. And not that I so much believe in buying things that are cheap, but I'm frugal with my money and I'm frugal with my clients' money. And I thought, they were being quoted about $2,000 a machine, and I thought I could get them right around $800 or $900. That was the whole goal of what I did. So as you can see on here are some of the parts I decided to go with. We went with a 10th gen i5 10400. This is the same processor I have in Prometheus, which is my kind of all-in-one media server, surveillance, and whatnot. It's a 6-core, 12-thread. It'll turbo up to 4.3 gigahertz. It's very power-efficient processor, and it was available at the time. Well, let's take that back. It was 2 weeks out, as opposed to a current Gen i5 being 4 weeks out. So that's one of the reasons I decided to go with it. I paired that with a Gigabyte B560, a B560M DS3 HV2. It's a good motherboard. It's all they need. It supports quad channel RAM, or dual channel RAM, I should say. Supports the processor. It's got good reviews on it. It's a Gigabyte board. How can you go wrong? And it was only $90 for the board. I decided to pair that with a 1 terabyte. This is the other thing. Dell was quoting these folks hybrid drives, SSD and then spinning drive, hybrid drives. I don't know what Dell's affinity is to those hybrid drives, but I'm not a real big fan of them. So I recommended they go with a 1 terabyte NVMe from Samsung, and they did. So they were about $104.99. And then this is the case I recommended, the Zalman T6 ATX mid tower. I gave them a couple of choices, but it's just a general case, you know. One of the things they wanted to have was the ability to put a Blu-ray DVD drive in here because they do archive stuff to DVD and Blu-ray. So I just thought this was a nice little case. You know, it's got good airflow inside. You can put a side cooling fan on it. It's got good cable management. It'll fit anywhere from a mini to a full ATX video card or a motherboard. You can put front cooling fans on it. Now, the one thing I didn't like about this, I'm not a big fan of top mounted. I'd rather have them on the front, but I let the customer decide, and they decided this was the case they wanted to go with. So that's the case we got. And then, like I said, they wanted a Blu-ray rewritable CD-ROM drive, so that's what we gave them. I went with 32 gig of DDR4 Corsair Vengeance RAM 3200, and that leaves the ability to upgrade the unit to 64 gig if need be. And then we went with the Zotac Gaming GTX 1660 video card with 6 gig of DDR5. And I know this is a gaming's graphics card, and if you're going to do, you know, they tell you if you're going to do, you know, these folks do AutoCAD, 3D, civil design, that kind of thing. And they tell you to go with a Quadro card, but you know, it's the same chip between this one and a Quadro card, so I just went with these gaming graphics cards, and they suited the need. In fact, when we purchased it, they were a little more expensive. The prices come down on these. And keep in mind, I purchased all these parts, or the client did about a month ago now. But this is a perfectly good card for AutoCAD work, and proof is in the pudding. The machines are now in place, and they've been working well. So these are the parts that I decided to go with. So what I'm going to do now is we'll take you over to the bench, and we'll start getting these things assembled. I'll talk about it a little bit while I'm assembling it, and then we'll come back and wrap up the video after that. Yeah, my favorite thing to do is lay all the components out on top of the motherboard box. It's old school way of building them. And yeah, you shouldn't probably put it on top of the anti-static bag, but you know, I've been doing it for 30 odd years. I'm not going to stop now, or 20 years I've been building PCs. I took some temperatures of this board while it was running. SSDs run about 100 degrees, CPUs were 100 degrees. VRMs around 120 to 140 Fahrenheit freedom units. This chipset here is running about 120 degrees, 111, somewhere right around there. And then the RAM is running at about body temperature. It's a nice gigabyte board. I did discover that if you're not using an 11th gen or higher processor, and these are only a 10th gen, that this slot is not enabled. Because it's PCI Express 4 and this 10th gen does not support it. It's my understanding, that's what the manual said. So I moved the SSD, the Samsung, down here to this slot, and it's working fine. And let me tell you, this thing is plenty fast enough. I paired that with a Smart Series from Thermaltake, their Smart 500 watt, 80% efficient power supply, running at full Prime 95 without a video card because it's using the onboard video. It was pulling about 120 watts, right around there. So the next step is to get this thing put into a case and then pop the video card in there. Yeah, so there you go. I love building machines. It's really one of my favorite things to do. I like the whole idea of getting everything put together, testing it, then assembling it in the case, and tying everything up and making it look really nice. And even though these are kind of, all these cases these days, I've even come across some higher end cases that it just seems like the metal on them is very thin, and they don't seem like very strong or substantial cases until you get all the parts in them, and then it tends to firm them up. I forgot to mention in there we went with let me bring up the power supplies. So I really like these Thermaltake 500 watt 80 plus certified power supplies. And for what these folks are going to be doing, that's plenty powerful enough. So, but I did forget to mention this. So I went with a Thermaltake power supply. Now, so assembly of the unit was fun. It was put together. I tested them. We're running Windows 10 Pro on these units, Office 365, and then their AutoCAD software. Some of them are running AutoCAD, Autodesk. Some are running the Adobe software suite. Again, it's a firm of engineers, so they have a wide variety of needs. But their first impressions when I put these machines in were, good Lord, these things are fast, and they've done some pretty intense number crunching on these things, and they've been very happy with them overall. Now, they paired these with some Dell monitors, dual Dell monitors, 24-inch monitors. We got webcams for them, some cheap entry level, because they do Teams for all their meetings, so they needed a webcam. We paired those with the Logitech wireless Wave keyboards and mice, and like I said, the customer was very happy. And these came in at a price of about $900 per machine. And then I charged the client about $75 a machine to build each one of them. I figured I had about an hour's worth of my time in there. So there you go, folks. We hope you enjoyed the video. We hope you found it entertaining and informative as always. Do you like to build PCs? Let us know down in the comments section. And please give us a thumbs up if you liked the video. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and click that notification bell to be notified of new videos when they come out. Donate if you're so inclined. Your gracious donations through PayPal, Patreon, the YouTube join function, or just become a YouTube premium member, because I get a piece of that pie as well. So any of those 4 ways of supporting the channel would be greatly appreciated. And then let me know you're supporting the channel in some way so that we can put you over on our Discord server as well. All of our social media links are in the About section, or you can go to UnkyJoe'sPlayhouse.com, and you can find all of our social media links there as well. Now, I do have an announcement to make. In the beginning of September, the first Saturday in September, we will be resuming our live streams. And so you got that to look forward to. And we're going to do something a little different on our live streams. They will be at 10 a.m. Central Time on Saturdays. And then we will have an after party on our Discord server from about 11 until, well, whenever you get tired of seeing me. So you got that to look forward to as well. So please don't forget, come back and see us again. And don't forget, we'll see all of you on the other side.